Hey guys, it's me, Jack24 here, and today I'm pretty much making this would be technically a good apology video, but kind of not if you can tell by the title, which I'm hoping that future me places it as the reason why I'm not deleting this exact video. Well, meaning, meaning that why I'm not deleting the Monarch song. The English Monarch Song video that I reacted to. And so, yeah, so pretty much just to make this clear enough for people to understand, I'm basically saying, oh, and yes, the only reason, if I have to, just to tell you guys, I pretty much liked the video at the time while I was making it, since, let's face it, since I liked making it, considering that this was fun to do since I went into their children's song. And quite honestly, I think that only I was honestly hoping that at least 20 people would see it. I didn't suspect it to get over 3,000 views, which is kind of the issue considering that, well, at the time of me making this video right here, actually I should place, excuse me for a sec, there we go. The time me making this video right here, compared to what I have around now, was that I wasn't aware that during the time of me making this reaction video, which was a little bit more than a year ago, but pretty much what I did not know, and I repeat, that I was indeed taught false information about some parts of the bloodline of some part of the English monarchs, which just to confirm the whole Normandy thing, that was intentional along with the Doomsday Book clarification. Because let's face it, that's what actually happened during the time era, which I do stay by the William the First thing, even though Normandy is now a part of France, but back then it sort of wasn't. But it was like a French puppet state, if you guys know what that is. Anyways, so as I do have to mention several times that I edited Go, so pretty much as I do have to say that this is not the original video that I placed up. The reason why I said it, that it's not original, because basically I had to cut a good portion of it out due to copyright, which I do omit here. Then for the past then a little while later, after I kind of got a huge amount of criticism for pretty much me making simple mistakes of my own knowledge and actually agreeing with a lot more people. So pretty much, yeah, so a little bit of here, about to do this. Here. Just about to shout the replies, considering that I'm gonna have to be going throughout this whole entire thing. So yeah, I actually should have done this beforehand. And yeah, so pretty much what I'm going to do here is pretty much clarify something, since pretty much is a little bit after I originally published this comment. I believe it was either like a week or something. I actually placed this here, and I made a few apology videos about this. But one comment in particular does indeed stuck out with me. Only if I could actually find the comment, I'm gonna go through it. But pretty much for the reason on that was sort of confusing was that just 2 days ago. Orange Ocean 0 or 075 said that George IV indeed defeated Napoleon, although George III was technically king at the time. Yeah, so pretty much, yes, yes, as I said in the video that it was technically George III who defeated Napoleon, but since pretty much that I only went off that since I was taught that, well, I was taught that he was still king at the time, which is my main confusion with the George the third and fourth one about Napoleon's defeat. Well, I mean, also George the Third was still king when Napoleon was first defeated, and yeah, so there was there. And so, yeah, so pretty much what I did say down here is that, yes, that I did reply, same day, is that pretty much that I did not, that I know, that I knew this information now, and I did clarify that I did not know it during the recording of the video. And also, I politely asked this person to see or read all the other comments that happened on this video to see what I've kind of been dealing with, since at this point I've been kind of tired of having to apologize for a good portion of my mistakes throughout this video. Yeah, this video came out a little bit more than a year ago. Still have to apologize for mistakes back then. A while ago is that when they say France, they were saying that it was something for easier for kids to understand, and let's face it, yeah, let's face it, just for a sec, yes, I know this is for a kid's show, but let's face it, I'm viewing it as well as I viewed it in the video as a historical critic, which I admit the information I used to criticize it was indeed false. People have asked if that I should take this video down. Now, the only issue with that, and I do state this, is that I'm not taking down this video considering the fact that that'll make me look partially more bad, and quite honestly, I want to be reminded that this is a mistake of my channel that, quite honestly, teaches me a lesson on what not to do again. Just to actually double check that. And yes, this is indeed the instance where I got a few to several jokes where I make some part of jokes throughout my videos where I unintentionally offended the British, which is referring to this video, which I unintentionally sort of insulted people by accident, which has been kind of annoying since I've been trying to fix up these mistakes as best I can. The thing. And yes, I get that it's two separate things. Yes, I do. But let's face it. So yeah. Anyway, so a little while ago, about 2 months. 2 months is pretty much on how people were saying that yeah, they call me out, so why am I commenting rather than listening to take in all that information and go look it up? Or the problem is that you try to sound smart with your Wikipedia facts. I still don't know what Wikipedia is. I don't know what it is. Seriously. Like, I generally don't know what Wikipedia is. Should I be concerned that I don't know what it is? I feel like I should. But I did also say to them that, for one, that I didn't even know what Wikipedia is, which still goes for this day, in fact. Actually, wait, it's right there. I actually never clicked on it before. But I did also explain that I was taught a ton of false history in my class, which has went for a lot of stuff. But still, it's like the commenter did reply that pretty much that that's great that I'm learning from here, but yeah, yeah, that's, and pretty much as you can see here, it's a year that pretty much, yeah, they're telling me that pretty much that I'm not listening to the song, but in fact I have tiny bit more just to be simple. Let's face it. How am I supposed to be taking in the song Den when I already recorded a video, already recorded my reaction, and already recorded this long before I can figure out how to edit stuff. Which, just to tell you guys, I can't even edit a single video. All what I know how to do is just cut stuff out. That's about it. And yeah, so pretty much replied to them saying, well, how do you expect me to fix my mistake in a video I made a few years ago? It's not it's not like I changed the video. They replied again, telling me that that's not what they're saying is it. I did tell them though that it sounded like it though, so they can see the confusion, since let's face it, when I was told about this, yeah, it's kind of me in my typical sense, just gonna reply, saying, well, how do you expect me to fix something that I made years ago? I said years because I quite honestly forgot what year I made it in. And so pretty much I did state this, and then this was the comment that I was talking about it. Well, actually, there's a few more. Few more. So pretty much for one, is that people say take the video down and keep it down, or remake the video with a better understanding of history F's. I mean, I think this. Wait, hold on. Over some of the more happier, well, air quotes of happier. So pretty much, this person, I believe, same person here, did indeed say that I made them angry, and I replied to them saying sorry about that. And this person literally said, I'm literally the embodiment of actually. I agreed, but unlike some, I was taught bad false history about England, though. So pretty much that they literally told me to that. Well, honestly, this is part of one of the conversations that actually did keep this part more of the video up. That yeah. Yeah, so pretty much I was just trying to basically have a good conversation, and unlike other people at the time, they kept on criticizing me for different stuff during this on the channel. But I'm basically trying to apologize to it. So yeah, so they did say that yes, and yes, and I got some people pointing that I've done it. That's something that I've done, but to be fair, there will be worse mistakes to come. That is correct. There will be worse mistakes to come, and unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck with this. But hey, it's just pretty much they're telling me just to focus on my life as best it can be. Better one who disagreed on ignore us tossers. On in YouTube. Oh yeah, that's true. about to just highlight what they said here. Kitty cat, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty much, yeah, the internet is full of overdramatic fools. I agree with that. And I also agree with this. Yeah, sometimes I do this. But, to be fair, I place a little bit more thought into it before I speak. But, once again, during the time of recording this video, of this video, not exactly of the current video I'm in, this video, is that, yeah, I kind of, let's face it, thought that I already knew what the stuff was going into it. So, yeah, kind of did a big goof on me. And yeah, and I did think that this person really was doing actually a better thing for me. And to be fair, I did wish that our commenters on the video were this nice, and they were fine with me saying that I'm a good chap. Now, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, kitty cat, but I'm still trying to figure out what a chap is. Oh, it's the British term. Oh, oh, I just got that. Wow, it takes forever for me to realize it. Um, I do want to say that pretty much 2 months ago is when I had finally had a good portion of enough of pretty much of just trying to figure out on why people don't read any of my other comments. I mean, let's face it, I practically commented to, let me check, a huge majority of all the commenters. So yeah, last I check, yeah, I definitely, and definitely have to keep on saying this, and this, and this. That, yeah, practically I had to keep on going through, and practically having to say that yeah, I practically has to say that I was sick of having to explain to people that I made a few mistakes, and each and every week there's either one or two people saying that the show wasn't wrong, which, as you guys can see, yeah, I do get it. And so yeah, I get that my information was wrong, so please forgive my mistakes. Then practically I said the thing that is always true in any case of humans. We're all humans, and we all make mistakes. And that's true. Humans make mistakes, we learn from it. Otherwise, we wouldn't learn anything. Anyways, so yeah, so I do have to pretty much saying that, yeah, I don't even know what this is. But anyways, is a Brit is yeah, as this person said that they were watching it from the teacher putting it on in class. What? Wait, what? Is this person just trying to say that that a few things weren't that wrong? Well, I mean the show technically is made by British production, but to be fair, sometimes the British facts are a tiny bit wrong. Other times it's the way on how you're presented information is also wrong. Heck anyway, history teacher who taught me English history. Yeah, I'm talking straight to you. I won't say her name for the sake of let's face it, I'm not about to outright tell anyone who views this video what her name is, but yeah. And she taught me a good portion of let's face it, of a few historical, quote unquote, what she said was wrong, and what and what pretty much on what my mistakes were, besides the Red Hot Poker and William II and William I little side fact debates. For William II, I just said that it wasn't implied that he was assassinated during the hunting incident. It just said that he was killed that he was killed by accident in a hunting incident, not on purpose, like was the video was implying. But yeah, poker story. So pretty much, I forget whichever English king it was. It's Edward II. Yeah, as it was just like a story. It's like a red hot poker killed him because it was shoved up his his point. About up well, you guys know where practically, if you don't know where I'm saying where this person could shove a red hot poker to kill him. Let's just say just going to go in the end where the sun don't shine. There you go. That and yeah, so yeah. Besides the stuff that pretty much I did reply saying that that was one of the only things I knew was to be false, even during the time of recording the video. And yeah, I do see the inaccuracies. Yeah, and then this person says that if I do if I do my research, and to be fair, well, I know it's accurate, but the main reason for me to do the critic error of the show is because I was taught false information. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure whether or not if this person's agreeing with this person or agreeing with me. I guess I'll see later. But here. Then this person said this. I didn't think anyone could be more annoying, and I'm British. Well, I mean, if you're British, hello, British. I'm American. Sorry, I just had to do that. I love doing dad jokes. And you're literally hurting my feelings and making me hate America even more. Wow. Last I checked, didn't America save England in a few wars? Last I checked, we saved you mainly a good portion through World War One. We practically gave you the winning aid in the west in the Western Front of World War Two, if I'm not mistaken. Which, yeah, that is actually a thing that we did do. And yeah, we practically sort of did end your empire, but let's face it, it was going to collapse anyways. Besides the point, well, I am sorry that people, now I did hurt people's feelings, and yeah, I'm sorry for being annoying. The only issue with that is that you're not going to get out of me being annoying, that's just going to be A. And yeah, I just happened to say that I'm a mistaken, flawed American, which technically does make me a normal person, because let's face it, a mistaken, flawed, please replace any people here. It doesn't matter. People in general. If I said a mistaken flawed person, which just makes me a normal human, that's still true. And plus, you shouldn't hate America just because of me. Because let's face it, I'm not the worst example of an American you should hate. An American you should hate is most likely the KKK, or neo-Nazis, or the actual people who do terrible stuff against people. And quite honestly, I said it's like if I said I would hate the UK for leaving EU, which it already at this point 4 months, 4 months ago. That was I do It's like, can't do calculating months correctly. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was during February of 2021. So at this point, the UK leaving the EU had already happened, and I did say that seriously doesn't affect anyone. And also, I did say that yes, that I do apologize for being inaccurate and stuff, but as as most people would know at this point, is that yeah. So I'm literally first with being taught information, and yeah, that some people should indeed be cutting me some slack, considering that they never heard of people here. And some people say here. And so yeah, this was rather recent, and yeah, I wouldn't go onto an American history show and nitpick it when I didn't know it myself, and I think that's why people hate the video. I couldn't agree more, but the issue here is I don't want to be the dude who practically is that. Well, let's face it, I already am. But yeah, so I was kind of taught about this in my during my college classes, but a lot of parts of the information I was taught was false, thanks to a certain Mrs. Teacher, which quite honestly annoyed me since actually now that I think about it, she kind of did kind of hate my attitude. Oh, now I see why she probably taught me a false history stuff. Just to make sure that I somehow inaccurately offended people. Wow. And then they said maybe delete this video and redo it. Um, Whoever you are, because I will probably horribly pronounce the last part or first part of the name thing. Well, you see, what would be good for me to be that? I'm practically just keeping the video up just for the reason to show that I made a huge mistake. And no, I'm not. And no, meaning that the second part of the question, I'm not redoing it. Because let's face it, I don't redo videos unless if I get interrupted by my loud and rude interrupting roommates who burst through my door and practically yell at me for stuff during some times. And just to say, this person again said, it's for children. Shut up. It's like, I know it is, and is there a problem for me to react to something that I watched as a kid? And the only thing that I knew that I sort of watched as a kid through horrible histories was some part of the Greeks. That was about it. I mean, and also then this person said that, so that I sound like David Bowie, and they said that's a good thing, and I said, thanks, I guess. And yes, I did have a friendly conversation saying here that, so yeah, he did rule, so he did come from France, meaning practically just due to, let's face it, William I came from Normandy, which is now part of modern day France, but during the time it wasn't. And that's what I went by. Anyways, time to do this again. That pretty much, yeah, I am boring. The makers of the show put years and hours and hard work into the accuracy, and there is a sketch about William II and his death, defeated Napoleon during the regency, or whatever that means. Actually, it says it right here. When George III was incapable of ruling, and yeah, I do get this a lot. This is just normal for me to hear. This isn't criticism for me. This is average day conversation for me. And yes, I do get that I'm boring a lot. That's what I mean by my average age stuff. And yeah, so pretty much as an American, I don't seem to get much to humor. Well, I don't mean to break it to you, Emmy Johnson, but let's face it, I am an American, and I won't exactly get British humor. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure the correct answer is yes, and here that I pretty much said, said here, pretty much gave out, as I've taught this a lot of times, so yeah. So I did point out that I was indeed wrong, there. Then I did indeed also point out that by the time of me recording this video, I didn't know it. And also I like to point out that I somewhat did get the humor. That is true. But I don't see why I shouldn't be explaining jokes, and obviously, here goes our sum. Of course, a few of the jokes did go over my head, which is true. And also, if you have humor, you shouldn't be explaining it. It's like, I mean, if you get a joke, it's there, and that there, here, and one, and also I had a few questions for them. First question is that, how does me being an American mean that I should get the humor? Let's face it, that's true. I mean, if you just come up, say, hey, you, an American. Me? Yes. Yes, you. You. Say here, do you get this joke? No, I don't get the joke. But you should get it. It's humor. No, it's not that. It's not that. And I did state here that, well, if they mean, well, I mean, if you think that I should understand the humor because I'm an American, which is just somewhat offensive to me since I get a few jokes and others do go over my head, as I explained here. Here. And yeah, so, and by the way, you need to consider that I found a few things funny, but I didn't point them out in my video since that would make them less funny. Which I've learned from experience. I already have enough of those haunting comments from the Withered Heart reaction video. Which, yeah, that was also a huge mistake for me. I just kept pausing and kept on talking. Whoops, that was kind of the worst thing for me. And also, P.S. Also, I did tell them that, yes, that I was indeed boring. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm trying to improve on my own. But yeah, to be fair, this is what I have to say to everyone who thinks that I do this for a living. No, I make this for a hobby. And yeah, I practically talk to myself in a computer in a lone empty room, practically for my hobby, as I have no other great hobbies to use by, which is somewhat sad, but considering that it was indeed true, but let's face it, it's sad and true, and that's literally how it is. Also, I did get that a lot of writers place the time into they put a lot of effort into the accuracy of the video, meaning the video I was reacting to, the English Monarch Song. And yeah, and but I did this from the time that I knew, but I did this only for what I knew at the time, so in all, forgive my past self for not knowing the stuff that I know now. Which, yes, let's face it, we all make mistakes. This person said this. What I didn't get originally was that I didn't get that it was a joke at first, so I actually responded with I with a well, I guess you can say a good apology, which yeah, and then they said it was a joke, and I pretty much said that yeah, that this is my bad, considering that I've had several people yell at me for getting locations of some countries wrong before. Now, to be fair, it just kept on going and 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 going. As you can see, the issue with me not even getting it. Anyways, so here we go. And pretty much they said that they were feeling bad about making jokes, and I just told them, don't feel bad, it was a good joke overall. It's just that I never caught it at first. That was my bad. Considering that, let's face it, you can't exactly tell the emotional stuff. And then the point, who are you? Let's see. I'm not sure what Emmy Johnson is trying to place here. It's right there. Anyways, the point being was that I'm pretty sure that Emmy Johnson's meaning England here. Here we're invaded and ruled by others, and have always been. It it was meant to be a funny line. I don't get how it's supposed to be funny considering that invading people and invading countries typically lead to tons of deaths and massacres if I'm not mistaken. Due to me seeing what the Europeans have done to each other through invasions. Yeah, so anyways, back to King Harold that just fought off the Vikings. That that I sort of agree before the Norman invasion. Yeah, I know. I stated that throughout the video. Let's face it, I don't. Uh, well, I mean, the Celts and Romans, practically the remaining Romans and the Celts had created what is now known as England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. Both the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. There we go, got that out of the way. And yeah, so William the Conqueror was considered the first king in Queens, but let's face it, I practically don't know that much about the Queen lineage, since let's face it, the monarchs practically get destroyed rather easily. If you want to know what I mean more, just search up the Habsburg family tree and you'll see what I mean. And yeah, I did place that I wasn't that knowledgeable on the British monarchies, and yeah, they said that they studied the whole area. England had kings, which is what I meant by pretty much there when I said that he wasn't the first English king, which is what I meant by were tribal kings. But yeah, he but when they said that he's considered, but what they said directly in the video, if I'm not mistaken, he's the first English king. But that's different than being considered the first English king. Anyways, so I did indeed explain this more to them, as yes, I need to learn more about Europe and stuff. And this person helped me through by telling me not to let negative comments get through. And then here was just a simple miss here that I heard, and there, and practically here. That yes, I do get. Um. All right, so you guys get to actually have a special treat. Here we go. At right so, and I do need to place this here just for y'all to know exactly what I'm writing. Writing for this. All right, so yeah, so at our chow thing is that um well as you guys know, and quite honestly as I know, is that pretty much is that, well, I should actually be writing this instead of talking about it, since I'm going to forget what the parts of stuff that I'm going to write due to me talking about it, considering I have stuff. Anyways, let me see. There we go. So, to talk about this is that, well, the only reason why as I capitalize false information on the subject is because most people, generally whenever they read my comments, tend to miss the fact that I was taught false information on the subject, and yes, I'm currently trying to fix the mistakes. And yeah, so practical, yeah. So this is just my video on why I'm not taking it down. I've already been through it, and I've already been through the comments. So now, after I don't finish that, well, I finished this already. Once again, to reiterate, I'm sorry to everyone who got offended by my reaction and my lack of knowledge of English history, considering that I'm an American and I know more about American history than I know about British history. Because let's face it, Britain didn't stay in our history books for that long. Mainly what we had, 7-Year War, we had colonialization, being colonized by the British, 13 states, then we kicked the British out, then the 7-Year War, then the Brits get kicked out, we declare independence, we kick the British out, War of 1812, we sort of kick Canada. Canada sort of kicks us back where the British burned down the White House, which I consider that to be still a major offense. Which, let's face it, we haven't burned down the Parliament building in England. But let's face it, just to reiterate, yes, I do get that the modern history part I do get wrong. There you go. That's the reason why I'm keeping this video up. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys still want to hate me for doing stupid mistakes on videos, go ahead, still hate me. It's like I'm trying to fix this up, and yes, it's like sometimes I'm very bad at noticing when people are joking, or whenever that they're actually decently angry at me. And yeah, so there we go. As you guys did see, that I did write this comment during this video, so that way, if the comment ever changes for whatever reason, you guys know exactly what happened. And also, just to point out for Seth, a historian, let's face it, I'm sorry, but having an historian on site and looking over the scripts, let's face it, one or a few historians are not going to pick up every single thing. It's like you have to at least have a good portion of either for me it would at least have to be 8. Since if you have a 4, since if you have actually it would have to be 10, considering that if you have a 6-4 majority, then that would have to go into favor. But if you have to make it accurate to the time, you have to do that. And yes, I do get it's for kids, and also I do get that people got angry at me for making stupid mistakes, but hey, that's what stupid mistakes are for. You learn from them. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. And, oh, that's right. My next video would be me, how I would feel after my second COVID vaccine shot. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.